It's been a long time since I've been before a camera, and I sort of feel if you don't have anything to say, why be narcissistic and just sit here before a camera just to be on? But of course, the massacre at Sandy Hook School in Connecticut brought me back to this spot today because we are yet, even though it's the third day of 2013, 2013, whichever way you pronounce the new year, we are yet mourning this horrific travesty that took the nation, nay, the world, by storm. It grabbed our attention, to say the least. And of course, there are a number of African Americans who take issue with the fact that their words, America mourns for these children because many of them were Caucasian, and yet when African American children are mowed down every day, there seems to be an overwhelming silence and no one seems to care. Well, a number of people care. Maybe it doesn't get the publicity, it doesn't get the ink, since I'm a journalist, so, I use the jargon terminology. Maybe it doesn't get the ink that this massacre received, but many of us are no less saddened by the fact that in urban America we see the same kinds of senseless murders. And there is this subject being bandied about assault weapons, and should there be greater legislation to ban assault weapons. I think the NRA, the National Rifle Association, with its lobby, is certainly uh, four square and standing its ground, if you will, no pun intended. That there shouldn't be any changes in the legislation. Of course, the head of the NRA seems to think that all you need is to put a gun in the hands of teachers, educators, and anyone who comes in who shouldn't be there. As the kids used to say in the cartoons back in the 50s, it'll be curtains. Well, that is preposterous logic, quite frankly. The way many children are today, some of the teachers will take the gun out, I dare say, and perhaps aim it at an out of control kid. So we can't have that. And anyway, we're not in the Wild West where everybody should carry a gun to protect themselves. I don't know what the answer is. As a minister, of course, I could talk about love is the power, and there's no greater power to disarm those who are enraged than the power of love, and that's true, and it's wonderful, and it's philosophical. But the bottom line is we've got some sick people out here, and we have some people who are walking time bombs. You know some, I know some. And sometimes families are hard pressed to acknowledge that a loved one is sick. And of course, I'm a mother, so I can understand someone not wanting to put someone away, as it were, to protect them and to protect others. But we cannot continue to cluck our tongues and say what to do. We have to do something, and the country itself has to be on one accord about what to do. And I know. Unfortunately, I even hate to use the black vernacular. I even hate to breath this or translate it to speak this. But if something is not done, we will be weeping yet again and shaking our heads and wringing our hands about what to do about people who are walking around with guns, with trigger happy or trigger tempers, with an inability to cope with disappointments in life. We all get them. With the rejection in life, we all get rejected at one time or another, or with just life itself, living on a day-to-day basis. I think while we are on our way to wanting to become, great theologians with, all kinds of notoriety. There's nothing wrong with that, but in the midst of this longing for greatness, do we not know that we have seen people come through the doors of a church and and good bad things have happened. So the church is not even a safe place anymore. The people are experiencing break-ins in their homes, not just the elderly, but people of all ages. I think this particular situation in Connecticut at the Sandy Hook School should wake America itself up to say, you're looking at some of those young people and some of those troubled people in the urban areas, and you're calling them animals, and you're saying, why don't you lock them up? But the bottom line is this problem has nothing to do with ethnicity. It has nothing to do with your cultural status. And if we could get that out of the collective mind of America, so that it will act and react with the same kind of emotions, with the same kind of forcefulness when a child in the ghetto is killed. Perhaps we could all come together and find a solution for this problem, because we're getting to a point where we thought Columbine was an aberration, and we now find out. We learned that it is not. It was not an aberration, because it was Columbine, and then at Virginia Tech, where this another similar massacre occurred, and of course Sandy Hook, and then in China, someone supposedly, reportedly, went on a rampage, and many people were stabbed. 20-something people, if memory serves, were stabbed. So. Again, this has nothing to do with geographic demographics. Has nothing to do with the status. Whether people are poor or rich, if they're troubled, we need to acknowledge that and not ignore the fact that even though someone might live behind a neatly trimmed shrubs and manicured lawns and a beautiful home and bedroom communities, some of these people are just as troubled as the kid who was in the projects and rides up the urine stain and the urine stenched elevator. And when we become serious, really get serious about wanting to change things for everybody, then perhaps we'll have a country that, then perhaps we'll have the beloved community, i.e. Dr. Martin Luther King dreamed of this. God bless you. I trust when I come back to speak again, I'll have a more pleasant topic. In the meantime, may the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near or far away. May the good Lord bless and keep you till we meet again. Amen.